What's up, Trios Tribe? Another week, another tournament report featuring EggmanEvents.com. This time brought to you by, I think, Yondi, oh my god, Yondi TCG Corner. So, where we go with this? Long story short, there's a 140 person event in Germany. Yondi TCG Corner on Twitter. Follow them, do their thing. If you're in Germany, play their events. Obviously they do well, they get a lot of attention. And I'm poaching, so I'm poaching information, so I want to give back in some way, as far as, like, you know what I mean, like make me feel better about kind of just stealing relevant or free information out there. But I like to think I give my 2 cents. That is the value. And then on top of that, EggmanEvents.com. You know, last time I put in the work to get it all said and done, but this time I did nothing, and I'm just talking and yapping on my own channel. So yeah, do your due diligence. You know, he's got a stream schedule. He's got tournaments happening all the time. A lot of big push for Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super. I don't know what the card. I don't know, man. Rest in peace, Akira Toriyama. Sad to see him go. Defined. It's not what the video is about, but defined shonen for generations and generations, and it's sad to see him go so young, honestly. And it's kind of weird seeing so many go so young when it comes to mangaka, but yeah. Anyway, Digimon tournaments. Yeah, we had a 140-man person tournament, so let's go over it. Let's look at the pie charts. Looking at so something like, so for this one we got the total pie chart because Giannis went crazy, or oh my god, I keep saying Yondi TCG went crazy and just gave us the full report. Every person, every deck list. I don't think every deck list, but they gave us every deck archetype represented. So all 140 people. I'm sure if you did some quick math, this adds up to our. Oh wait, sorry, this is Germany. Quick maths. I'm sure it's 140 or close to, and then our top 16. So like, I don't know, like maybe some insight on how to like look at these pie charts. Something like stands off right at the bat. Red Hybrid, most popular deck, but was most certainly not the most topping deck. So conversion rate is really interesting. Numemon seemed to have held its place pretty well, converting into top 16. But Red Hybrid didn't, and that kind of a little bit this tracks for me. I've been saying for a while now, Red Hybrid is kind of like the highs are really high in Red Hybrid, the lows are really low, and then there's like this middle ground where Red Hybrid, like if you're it depends on their security, man. Like if they have 2 tamers in there, they are rolling in it, they're kicking it, they're loving their life, they're going to win, right? And then on top of it, but beyond that, it's like, okay, their lows are really lows. A lot of people are shoving Atomic Infernos in there, you know, drawing hands with no tamers, or drawing hands with all tamers and no level 4s, not seeing level 5 on time. Most decks are only running, we'll get into it, but realistically, there's only 4 level 5s they like to play, and then some of them have kind of been adding the Loogamon Ace, which honestly probably is going to end up being an honorary Red Hybrid card at this point with effects. It's just too perfect for Red Hybrid, honestly. But in terms of, Numemon, coming out of the, I'm sorry, coming out of Ultimate Cup, we see, or was it? Yeah, Ultimate Cup, me and Digipanda did. We saw Numemon, you know, make a statement saying, "I'm here. I'm a slug, and we're ready to rumble. Like our deck is finally complete. The Monzemon X, the Numemon X, a lot of the support is finally being tied together and coagulating." But it is interesting to see that, like, you know, they took up you know, 25% of the top 16, but like the conversion rate is not, it's still not quite there. Like, yeah, you can look on the side here and it's like, oh, the pie slice got bigger, meaning it overrepresented, but I don't necessarily feel like that's the case, especially when you shrink numbers down to 4 and 2 and 1. Like a single difference changes those pie slices by a lot. it's just, it is interesting, but because like you'll look at the other two decks here, like Leviamon, Loogamon, Red Hybrid. Okay, let's not, I just bad talked Red Hybrid, so let's just go Leviamon and Loogamon. If you just look at Leviamon, Loogamon, their representation is somewhat half, and then they still keep up, right? So their representation is almost equal to Numemon's, right? They didn't necessarily grow. It gets nitty picky and picky, like, I don't know, I'm just trying to like say my piece. But as we can see, Leviamon topped or won the whole thing, and Leviamon, and then the final only in the top 4 we already see Numemon down to 1. So it kind of, I want to say that kind of facilitates a point I was making, that with Numemon winning Ultimate Cup, people were going to surge to the deck, but that doesn't necessarily prove that the deck is going to be good in this new Pokemon at 1, Garurumon nerfed meta that we're now in. Well, purple nerfs, I guess, even though Levia and Luga are still doing fine. This world of, you know, it's not that strong. It's not gonna be that strong. I think there's a lot of decks, and as long as people are aware, there's a lot of decks out there that can play with it. And going on, we see like, you know, a couple other decks, ShineGrey, 7 representatives, only 1 in the 16, 6 Commandramons, none in the 16, 5 Machinedramons, 1 in the 16. And here's the 2 that I was like, really like, I've been, I guess, to this event, they underperformed to my expectation. I've been saying I felt like the Leviamon, it's Leviamon Tribal, but it's like, you know, it's like green black Leviamon, green black yellow Leviamon that's been going around the EX5 stuff. Let me get comfy. I hate waving my arms around without being able to like hug my legs. Where is it? Oh, Leviamon. So Leviamon's like good, right? Like it feels like a good deck. Especially with the prevalence of like blue not existing as like obviously as it does, because their biggest weaknesses are the bounce from blue and the sword strip from blue, and they have a hard time dealing with that. They have a hard time dealing with blue, and with blue being kind of pushed out of the meta other than Garurumon, it brings the question, like, why didn't it not do better? And Gabumon, I'm still on the Gabumon train. Like, I still think the deck is good. I think, yeah, Gabumon and the Garurumon X's from EX5 being put to 1 hurts the deck a lot. Personally, I think the Gabumon can go back up to 4. The Garurumon should stay at 1. The card's too good. In a generic sense and in a Garurumon sense, but the Gabumon's only really that good in Garurumon, and I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm just it's a bad take. But as for the other decks that topped, ShineGrey, Yellow Vaccine, Hunters. I'll have stuff to say as we get there. Gabumon, we don't actually have the Gabumon list. I imagine the player wants to keep it secret for Ultimate Cup or Regionals or something coming up. Fine, I respect it. I don't really care. But it will be interesting. I am interested in see what, because they specifically wrote Gabumon, so that makes me lean towards like, so there's a like in terms of like the deck in my mind, there's a spectrum. Like, how much is that deck leaning towards the original BT6 Rookie Rush, and then I have a couple champions because they're statted really well. Ice Wall, Hammer Spark into Gabumon for 3 checks and try to win. How much are we there versus like closer to the Agumon stuff, the Champion Rush, where we're still playing the Garurumons to play a champion or play our Tamers. We're still playing a little bit of 5s to try to like top end a little bit, but for the most part we are still trying to warp up. And just like people were bringing back the Agumon Champion Rush style deck, like Garurumon just got all the same cards, right? We got Wolf of Friendship option, we got the secret rare that also just warps from a Gabumon, and that effect is gnarly good. I love that effect. And then if you have enough boosts and Hammer Sparks, you could just go Metal Garurumon, swing, unsuspend, go in training or whatever for 1 into Bond of Friendship, swing 2 more times if you have the correct Gabumon, and then you just swung 4 times in a turn, so you just need to find 2 more swings throughout the course of the game for that combo. kind of good. But yeah, it'll be interesting when that deck gets released to the public, I guess. I don't know, we'll see. I have faith. It sounds cool, it sounds dope. But let's go in. Let's start with, I think, Numemon, or no, we're gonna start with Hunters. All right, cool. This is I'm not gonna say names, I butcher them and I feel bad every time. Hunters will always be a good deck to me. I like Hunters. I know there's hate out there for Hunters, and I think Hunters is just one of those decks that like just feels fair to me. I know people get kind of irked about how like they have the thing about Hunters is they have really good removal. They have, like, you have this god monster on the board, I can get rid of it. And they, like, the other factor of Hunters that's really tough for people is the fact that as long as the first few turns went well for them and they kind of got their draw engine going, they can respond to your board and attack pretty much every turn. Like, they can be aggressive and they can do their plays every turn once they've set up, and that gets pretty daunting to deal with when you're playing like something fair like a Rosemon, which, oh, you dealt with my body, I have to hatch, spend another turn in raising, and then come up. Whereas Hunters is every turn I'm doing something and you have to deal with it. But yeah, just mixing up the ratios. Obviously the biggest, like, wow, they're playing that, is the ShineGreymon. I wonder what caused them to choose this. Maybe it's the win inheritable, so you have an extra pencil for different other plays. On top of it is a win digivolving effect, so maybe there's a world where you're able to spread out the minus DP from this card, and then Shotmon King version, just snipe bodies here and there. Tuarmon would be the other include, but I feel like we're just kind of in a meta where Tuarmon is good. Like, if we went back to like BT13 or even BT12, Tuarmon didn't see that much play, but like it just feels like a niche card that, like, you know, the meta now calls for it, so they did well. I always feel like it's a good deck. I don't hate the deck. I in fact love the deck. It's a good deck, and it's not the same as like Blue Flare, or like it's a save deck, but it's not the deck isn't the same as Crossheart or Blue Flare. Once you commit to your guy, your boss monster, who have you, they don't have save anymore. So all those resources you committed, and if your opponent deals with it, you lose it, and it's a risk, and it's a tempo plan, it's a thought, and there's thought process to it. If you're Blue Flare, you just slam Metal Greymon down, swing, it goes to the grave, you save, or it doesn't even have to save anymore, because you could just use that one tamer lets you use, you know, under tamer and trash, and you just slam down another Metal Greymon, and you have like access to 8 of them. You don't run 8, but you get my point. Anyway, cool. Congrats to the top 16 at this, you know, 140 respectable event. Next is Yellow Vaccine. Yellow Vaccine, this list right here is basically where I see Vaccine going in general across, where, like, you know, friends of mine, people have been playing. And my interesting take is, like, there is no Magna Angemon to accompany Angelwomon. They're strictly on the Angelwomon, which is interesting because I guess they're derived. I wonder what the logic is there. I mean, are we just stuck on Revelation of Light? No, that doesn't matter. Yeah, I wonder why they chose. I mean, the flat minus 6k every time, no matter what, is probably pretty good. But you only get the heal if you're 3 or lower, so it's just interesting. I don't know what to make of it. I guess the minus 6k is till the end of your opponent's turn, so they have to deal with it on top of that. So maybe there's value there. And then, you know, Rapidmon X is a vaccine target for Patamon. The Salamon, like, just adding in all the BT14 stuff, it like really bumps the deck up another level. And then the like, you know, the Chirimon, just more trashing, especially when, like, this deck, like, I guess that's what they're trying to get at. They're trying to get to that, like, 3 state. So, like, Mitamamon is a very relevant effect. Their top end is Venus, Machinedramon, and Azulong. It's hard playing Angelwomon and then Azulong. They're bored if they get too risky. Machinedramon and then Revelation of Light, kind of that combo plus Kari on board is just been kind of gross in general lately. They're like 2 merciful modes. I guess Leviamon and Loogamon, as they both did really well, and Red Hybrid kind of care about their trash, so just kind of on it because you should be, and just in case you see purple. But 2 of them seems heavy-handed, but it worked well for them. Nothing else stands out to me. The Tamer lineup sound makes sense. You need Kari to make Revelational work. You need TK to make Emissary of Hope, and Lungthea. The stock those just like the best. Is just the best removal option, especially if you're trying to play the package here that's trying to just like get you to 3 health and just stay there. Yeah, not much to say. Yellow Vaccine, like especially with Mitamamon, Machinedramon, I feel like is really in a solid place right now. They're just in a place where they can play the game, and you know, they topped. Next deck, we're gonna go through the Numemons now. This is the top 16 Numemon Dominique. I feel like most Numemons are kind of the same now. This one's the red base one, so they chose to play the Muchomon. For those that don't know what it does, your turn, once per turn, when one of your red Digimon attacks a player, draw 1 card. So with the eggs here, you're gonna draw 2 cards. So you play the Guiomon, you play the Muchomon, and now you have 2 cards that are drawing you 2 cards on attack every time, plus Uko. And then on top, and then after that, your Numemon. So you're not really trying too often to Digivolve. You're mostly just hard playing your slugs anyway, and your bears. Everything else kind of standard. It's interesting to see that the top end is Venusmon with 2 ShineGreymons. Like, you play 4 Platinum Numemon no matter what, and I feel like in every Numemon deck, so it's kind of like what's interesting to look out for is the other stuff. And Digimon Emperor, you know, coming out of Worlds, coming out of Japan, not World, but Worlds, Nats, even before we were seeing the Japanese meta really just grow a liking to this card. It's easy to play around, but it does cause your opponent to be in some awkward situations sometimes. So it's a good card. Choosing to go Digimon Emperor over Louis. The Louis Ukamon combo is still good. Everything else seems pretty on pace for what Numemon's shaping up to be. Let's see if there's any deviations from that. We're gonna go on the Sunamon, Chikuri, Floodgate, Black Base, and then an Agumon. Just like, you know, we're seeing this world where like the Agumon and the Gabumon starter deck rookies are kind of good, especially at the start of main. Just 1 memory just kind of puts your opponent down a little too much. As you see, we went down on the Warumonze, upped our Louis, upped our Satsuki, upped this Numemon that partners with Satsuki, and then a Death X instead of Shine, and then yeah, just kind of moving the numbers around, a little more rookie heavy than the red base, but in general you're doing the same thing. They were just valuing draw, this was valuing floodgates. Nothing much to be said there. And then this one is the top 8 Numemon. This one we're playing the Garamon. I haven't played the deck that much, so I'd be interested. And then we're playing Shinmonzai. Protoform is a good card just to like make it so like if you know, sometimes you get those awkward hands where you have Monzemon X but you don't have the rest of it, and you know that's still a Digivolve for 3. So and sometimes you can just Digivolve for Digivolve for cheaper. These are expensive Digivolution costs for 4 or yeah, level 5. They're for 4. And they have the bonus rule text that lets them, they do, but the site doesn't let me see it too well. I imagine they'd let you Digivolve for 3 on top of a Numemon, so never mind on that. But like, this is still evolution for 3. Protoform is going to reduce it by 1, and then cycling for back whatever Garamon you need or whatever slug you need. It's good, and then the heal one is also good. Opting to play 2 Shinmonzai, so this is just going for a little more, is this aggression or is this a different type of stall? This is interesting. I'm attacking by trash from 1 card. Numemon in this name is in its name, in this Digimon's Digivolution cards, place one of your opponent's Digimon face. Oh, so this is a different time. This is straight up removal versus like the stall that Venusmon can do. Playing Black Memory Boost Satsuki. We're on full rushers. 4 Ukomon. Just gave up on rookies, just playing 2 Chumon. interesting. And then the Garurumon, I feel like Garumon's not necessarily that particular, though the claw Garurumon is not as popular, but sometimes you see it, and I would love some insight in the comments if you guys like, why would you not play the Garurumon? That's definitely an information gap for me. Moving on, this is the highest placing Numemon. Look at that, we're playing Pillowmon, and we're playing, like, let's see, off the bat, a Zulong. I think in Zulong, I'm surprised more Numemons are not playing Zulong, especially when your top end is Monze X and Monzemon. Like, just seems like too good to be able to just punish your opponent and bounce a 5, get that really good removal. This is the first list to see Heaven's Judgment and then Cootie's Kick. Let's go over this. When you would use this card, if you have a Black Tamer in play, reduce the play cost by 1, so it goes to 1. Main, until the end of your turn, until the end of your opponent's turn, one of your Digimon with Numemon, Suka, Nane, edit in its name can't be blocked and gains on deletion, gain 3 memory. Pretty good, pretty not crazy. What's the security effect? Reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, and you can play 1 Black Digimon card with a play cost of 3 or less among them without paying the play cost. So reveal 3, I'm pretty sure all of these are 3 costs or less, and that also kind of helps why we're on, because it just says black, right? It just says 1 Black Digimon. So you're playing your Rookie, your Floodgates, you're playing all your Slugs. Yeah, literally all of them, and then yeah, you just have Digimon. Everyone's on Digimon Emperor now. Makes sense, especially with it's just, again, that those starter deck rookies. Leviamon loves that Goblimon. Fenrir loves Loogamon. Like, it's one of the best rookies in the game. Plus, you know, people are just trying to get that start of main value from a lot of the rookies that's been coming out. So it's a good counter. I'm not too sold on it, but yeah, it's working for people. And no Louie, no Louie, whichever, I don't know. And then the one Shine, I'm gonna move on. Top 6, this guy was top 4, by the way, Benjamin, congrats. Top 16, Shine's pretty solved. Interesting parts of Shine to me, at least this version of Shine. I know I'm gonna forget names, but there was one guy on Twitter, I commented on his tweet. If he watches my videos, I'm sorry, I just don't remember names, man. But he posted, he went undefeated. Oh, didn't he go undefeated at GFG? He went undefeated at GFG this week, and he was playing like OG BT2 Shine, and I thought that was cool. And he also just kind of, like, I asked him a question. He was like, ShineGreymon X. I was like, why no ShineGreymon X? And he was like, blah, 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 blah. Digivolving for 4 sucks. And I'm like, yeah, fair. And we're seeing that here. Just Digivolving for 4 sucks. We have good ShineGreymons. We don't need to clutter with an X just to try to cheat out a body or a tamer when we already cheat out tamers. Playing 8 trainings. If you're telling me this card is good, this is fucking why. Oh my god. Obviously this card is good. Oh my goodness, like, it's just too fun. It's just too funny, honestly. Playing 8 of them, the only way you whiff is if your physical training reveals an Agumon X or an offense training, any combination of these two, and you whiff. But otherwise, your red one doesn't whiff unless you reveal exactly 2 physicals. So I think you're just big chilling. You're just playing giga consistency. You're playing your you're playing, I mean, you're just playing good numbers deck, and you're playing the best of all of them. Agumon X is, I feel like, questionable in terms of if like there's a different Agumon that would be better, but it's good. It's obviously good. Just extra search if you're going to use it, and it's just a red body dinosaur Agumon, which helps all your Geos, like, you know, 12. We're on 12, 8, no, 12, yeah, 12, 8, 7, and then oh my god, 5, 6 is 8. This is just normal ratios, and with this much search, like, you're bound to find everything, and you have extra draw with the Koromon. Nothing too crazy, but they did well. Actually, maybe this guy at 2 is a little higher than what we normally see. Most people max out on this ShineGrey, but yeah, ShineGrey. It's still a good deck. It's one of the decks I classify as has a OTK, has a game plan, has a winning game plan that sometimes they just win. So that's what this guy did. Congrats to him. And then Deva is a deck that I'm sure plenty of people are interested in. A lot of people are just like, it's the cool funny deck, but this time it actually works, kinda. Funny enough, this guy is actually playing, let's count it up. One, all right, hold on, what? Is he playing all 12? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. He's playing all 12 Zodiac animals. Look at that. Jackie Chan would be proud. Look at get all those talismans, bro. And then we got all 4 of the Beyblades, all the Bit Beasts. Ratios are interesting. Azulong's definitely the best. I feel like most people just kind of agree that Azulong is the best of the 4 Devas, or not Devas, 4 Sovereigns. And then Ibanwu is just good control, and then the other 2 just have their place, especially Zhongqi or Dronzer. Dronzer has his place with aggression. And then I guess Drigger's just kind of seen as the bad one. And then on top of that, we're playing, we do have purple and black 6s and Death Xmon. Just honestly, you try to find a way to play one Death X at 1. I feel like a 1 of Death X in most decks is never bad. If you're just trying to play uber consistency like that ShineGrey we just saw. But then after that, we're just seeing normal like Deva option. Like these 3 could be like choose your flavor of removal. Heaven's Judgment comes off as a little like, obviously it sounds good on paper just because like, look at all these colors, look at all the colors, all the Crayolas. It's a whole 16 count. But Heaven's Judgment, like, but you have to have a green body on board, and you don't have a tamer to like. I guess you have to be either on. These 3 get you there, and then Feng Long himself. What am I saying? And then I would be curious to see how consistently they were able to pull off a Heaven's Judgment. That's it. You know, these 4 of staples, you got to play him. Feng Long is gross, especially with Numemon going around. I'm sure this is what this guy took advantage of. Numemon going around and then just -6King a whole board. Kind of nice. Next, that was a 1 of top 16. Grats, Marcus. Why didn't you play Shine? And then we got 2 Loogamons. This is the top 16 Loogamon. Let's see if I can judge this deck a lot because I play it a lot. Really greedy on the rookies, but we're seeing a lot of this in Loogamon. Honestly, we don't like Loogamon's becoming the deck where like we don't necessarily care anymore. Our first stack is going for game, and so we can wait a few turns, and we promote as rookie anyway, so we can spend our time going Mist Memory Boost, Wisdom Training, playing a Fang, playing a Tyranno, playing Uber, playing Tamers, just to try to get us there. The key parts I find interesting is we are playing the Growlmon for that potential like swing 3 checks, 3 checks, 3 checks, which is kind of good. Then we're playing 4 of Hellugo, which is, you know, one of the best cards of the deck, but I tend to play it at 4 or 3, I should say, but we're at 4. We're playing a lot of 5s. This feels like really heavy, but especially since we cut on the rookies, I guess that's where we went in. Only 1 Black Gato is also interesting to me. And then the Tyranno Fangmon ratio also interesting. I tried cutting Fangmon entirely from the deck and replacing it with Tyrannomon. I don't like that at all. Fangmon is a must. Even if you just play it at 1, the recursion that Fangmon provides you is just too good. Someone might argue maybe just play Calling at that point, Calling of Darkness at that point. But, and then Delicate Plan. I mean, we have red. I've seen this a lot. Things that the things you lose to as Fenrir Loogamon oftentimes is just security, so giving yourself the free ticket out of there, kind of good. Hopefully the BT18 support, or is it 17? BT17 support. Oh, I would love to see that. We're getting support in 16. We're getting support in 17. I would love to see where this deck is in that time. The next Loogamon deck, we're actually playing 2 more rookies. We chose to make them Floodgates. We cut Fang. We cut Tyranno. We cut a red purple Lugarmon to up our Black Gatomon count. Still playing the 1 of Black Gato Uber. Didn't mention in the last deck, but we need it. Leviamon's real. Leviamon is a strong counter to us, and so Black Gato Uber, here we are. Cutting down on the Chimera. The last deck had 3. I thought that was interesting. But the last deck even have Death X. Oh man, tripping. And this one, oh sorry, I should have mentioned, this one's the Benedict and his top 4 Loogamon. I don't know really, like, the difference could be, it doesn't really matter, I guess. Both of them are on 4 trainings. Benedict choosing to do 2 purple memory boosts instead of the Mist Memory Boost, and I feel like this was an interesting thing to see, and like a player choice thing that I've been seeing. It made a lot of sense when Loogamon was like gross, and now that it's not, I feel like Mist might be better again. But maybe with all this red stuff, we like don't care anymore. We just want to search purple. We want to make it quick. We want to make it easy. We want to guarantee a card in hand instead of filling up our trash with erroneous stuff sometimes. It's interesting. It's interesting. Yeah, top 4, Rats, Benedict. And then top 16, Red Hybrid. I believe we have 2 of them to talk about. Again, my opinions on Red Hybrid is, you know, stays the same, except we're playing Louis. Huh. We're playing, oh, that's so interesting. Okay, so I take back a little bit. We're not playing any Atomic Inferno, so we're choosing to just go all in on Gravity Crush and Crimson Blazes to, again, Numemon is after the back of Ultimate Cup, we were expecting a lot of Numemon. We're expecting Leviamon with their on-play effects. So just being able to put a stop to that is really nice. But 12, finally, like a Red Hybrid list actually playing 12 Tamers. Not that Louis matters, but I guess we're just trying to go for that trying to go for that uber aggression and that uber consistency. Like seeing Louis and an Loogamon, kind of gross, right? Like I'm sure there's games this guy had where we just gravity crushed 1 or 2 times and then had Loogamon and just chained Louis Loogamons for a game. Like I see that as a world we're playing. We gave up a lot of our rookie slots for this. Yeah, we're on 8 and 8, like we're on 11 rookies. Am I counting this right? Yeah, we're on 11 rookies, so we gave up a rookie slot. We're actually giving up some of our level 4 slots, which is one of the toughest things about this deck. Is like sometimes you just don't see 4s and you don't have enough of them. We're only playing 10, so that feels wrong, but worked for this guy. Another crime of Red Hybrid is they only have 1 level 5 that they like to play, and on top of that, just cutting the Blitz, Emperor Gray, Kaiser Gray entirely. Interesting, but there's not much to say. This is pretty standard nowadays. Maybe the next guy plays Garuda, playing Pinamon. Oh, this is probably just delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 2k or less. I wonder what we're trying to cancel out with that. Are we trying to cancel out? It's on deletion too. Wonder why they chose this Pinamon. What out there? Like Floodgates, I guess. Garymons are all the slugs are 3k or less, so you're not really hitting those with this. Interesting. I would love to hear the logic on Pinamon there. But yeah, I'll say it every time. Red Hybrid's good, but if you have those, you're just gonna lose those games where you don't see Loogamon Louis, because you're at that point you're just playing a BT12 deck in a BT15 world, and that's a lot of time in between. Sorry. Next deck, this is the next Red Hybrid. We're playing 1 Boko. We're playing the Blitz Omni for the extra swing. We're playing Metal Greymon Ace. This might be a mistake. I feel like this should have been Garuda. Or maybe they actually play Metal Greymon and deleting a 6k or less. What are you deleting? Again, you're deleting Garymons, Numemon if you're scared of that. I mean, you clearly are if you're playing 3 Crimson Blaze. But Garuda still feels better. 1 Boko instead of Uko. We're kind of doing that math there. And then actually playing the Atomic Inferno while upping our... playing 11 hybrids instead of the 10 from the previous player. A lot of these slots come from not playing 4 Louis, so we have more room to play Atomic Inferno. Like I like that I'm kind of being proven right with this Atomic Inferno stuff, because people have been cutting it. Like there was a world where people were playing 4 Atomic Infernos and then like Gravity Crushes, and like that was gross, and now we're kind of toning that down and we're seeing success, which makes me feel good. Makes me feel like I know what I'm talking about, honestly. Machinedramon, one of my local pet decks that we always try to take another look at every time we can. Playing the Commandramon package, like the Commandramon package. I don't know what to consider this. I know Ben had a conversation with him at Nationals about it, since he did really well with the deck. I think he lost top 64 like I did, but I could be wrong. I don't track people that well. I just can't imagine this coming up. Like, do the inheritables really happen? Like, oh, like that is my biggest like thing about this, is like how often are you seeing this protection come up when you're on your big bodies? And how relevant is, like, that's just my question. That's it. That's all I ask is like, does it work? Playing the new SOC package of I think it's Airdramon, Megadramon, Marvin. It's a good deck. They're good cards. He's a machine. The inheritable is insane on this Megadramon, and I think this is what, reboot inheritable, yeah. And then lets you play the tamer for free. Marvin actually lets you discard any cyborg machine or SOC for the plus memory. You just don't draw the card, whereas analog command has to be that level 5. And this deck has struggles sometimes finding that. Still playing it at 4, but like, you know, Marvin's come up with the deck. Playing 3 defense training, I wonder how relevant that is. And not playing any of the new ultimate connection, which that's also interesting. I mean, I would love in the comments for that take. Like, do we just not like ultimate connection? Like, on paper that card sounds really good, but I have been feeling like, you know, maybe it's not. Maybe it's not that good. Attack of the Heavy Mobile Digimon, only 2 is like scary. I feel like you want to see this card every game, all the time, nonstop, constantly. And also, now that I'm taking another gander at like what level 5s we're actually running, our only security +1s are the Volcanodramon and the Metal Greymon, which honestly kind of says that like we're not going for an OTK strategy-esque game here. We're going for control. If we get some sec +1, we're gonna take advantage of it. But prioritizing, like, yeah, the ones we're at 2, we're choosing Megadramon, Metal Greymon, and Megadramon, the tamer deletion one, and the 3 cost or less tamer Digimon deletion. It's good. We're in a world where mats and TKs and not ties, but like we see it in Red Hybrid, Takuya, was Louis, other Marvins, what's his name? I can't remember. Aegis, there's Satsuki, there's so many 3-cost tamers around, and this like, it's been staple that you played the BTA Metal Greymon, the Megadramon, and the Metal Tyranno at 2, but now with the new SOC Megadramon, I can see why we're instead going for the D-Digivolve, going for a more control route with our lineup, making sure we have blocker, reboot. It's interesting. Yeah, I mean, I would almost argue we don't need this guy. Is this the rebooter? Inherited, blocker. So this guy. I would also argue we may not need a reboot just because we have Airdramon, but also we can't just like slip in Airdramon whenever we want, so makes sense. And then playing Super Arcation Beam, sometimes you just need security bombs, and sometimes like the way this thing deletes is so good. Like, you're gonna trigger the ideal is you get it off on Chaosdramon X, and then like there's just some nutty stuff there that I feel like, let me see the time, we're already on 40 minutes. I'm so sorry. And then Leviamon, top, or at least we're almost at the end, so we'll be under 40 minutes. Sorry guys, I ramble way too much. Levi, is there anything interesting about this Levi? Oh, we're playing the Guillaumon that we saw out of Worlds on play. Just rush if you have enough cards in trash, which happens. We're playing the 1 of Anubis because that card is still good. Even at 1, it's still probably too good, honestly. Playing 3 of Biting, playing our option lineup is interesting. Playing the OG X antibody and not playing the protoform, I find a little interesting. But oh, you know what? Never mind. You have to run this one because the other one forces you're forced to Digivolve and then put it under. And so without the Garurumon consistency or even a level 5 that gives you the access to X's, you just want to be able to put this under, so now Levi X can trigger freely. So that makes sense. And then a lot of consistency pieces down here. Yeah, that all tracks for me. Playing no mat, but playing this Garurumon just so you have a target for Garurumon X. It's funny. And then here's the first place, our winner. What are the, let's try to find the key differences. So immediately off the bat, we're playing Gabumon and Gabumon X. Excuse me. We're playing Raremons, which I think everyone can agree Raremon's probably one of the basically the replacement of Garurumon X antibody. Also playing Guillaumon. Oh, we're playing Floodgate. We're playing Gazimon instead. We're playing 4 of the Biting Crush, upping that count. And I wonder what we cut for that. We cut I'm not seeing it, but I'm sure it's somewhere in the lineup. So I'm sure you guys can find it. Yeah, we're playing Gabumon package for our rookies, plus Floodgate, plus Rush Gyomon, because Rush is good. Leviamon X, gotta have it, and then ShineGrey. Yeah, instead of Anubis? Oh no, we're still playing the one Anubis. I could go into all the numbers, don't really want to. Oh, we went up on here. Yeah, I'm sure like we're just missing a 5 and a 4 here and there. I don't really care too much of a rookie. Yeah, playing ShineGreymon as our top end, whereas Mark didn't. No level 7 capstone Digimon here. We're all in on just making sure we see. I imagine that our lineup for rookies and champions is more consistent, so we're just consistently able to go up. Yeah, I already see that we have more level 5s in the other deck. Yeah, so that's kind of where our numbers are evening out. But yeah, it's interesting. Is there a difference in babies? No, we're playing the same babies. Well, anyway, first place, Marco, Gratz, Leviamon coming into this. We kind of knew it was going to be the best deck. We saw it at Worlds. Numemon was a close contender after what happened at Ultimate Cup, but fell short of taking the game, but still had good representation. Anyway, eggmanevents.com. Please follow him, watch him, do his thing. This is something we do because of him. And it's great to be able to have access to all this stuff. So his work is incredible. And then Yondi TCG Corner, if you're in Germany, obviously they have great events. If you're playing a 140 event just for funsies, it's more serious than that probably, but I like to belittle things, I guess. But yeah, Twitter, oh, it is Yondis. I'm not. Okay. All right, man. This whole time I feel lied to. Anyway, like, share, subscribe. See you next time. Bye.